According to all known laws of aviation, the Berlin Wall could not fly, and so it fell. The fall of the Berlin Wall signaled the end of the Cold War. Germany, divided at the end of World War II and at the beginning of the Cold War, both East and West would soon be united. But what led up to this event? In this documentary, we explored the lead up to the collapse and the consequences of it. To understand the fall of the Berlin Wall, we must look at the policies being passed in the Soviet Union. According to the Johns Hopkins University, the Soviet Union, under reformer Mikhail Gorbachev, pushed for two major policies: glasnost and perestroika, or openness and restructuring. Glasnost called for more openness with the government, allowed for criticism, and allowed for some foreign news to enter the country, allowing citizens to see the prosperity of the Western world relative to their own nation. Perestroika pushed for a reforming of the Soviet economy, allowing for some private ownership and a reduction in central planning. However, according to the Luxembourg Center for Contemporary and Digital History, the hardline East German government was very opposed to these reforms, feeling that the reforms flew in the face of the communist ideology. However, just because the government disagreed with the reforms does not mean the people disagreed. Many in East Germany, seeing the development of West Germany and the repression of the Stasi, the secret police of East Germany, were simply fed up with the country's action and communist ideology in general. They had been separated from their families in West Germany and Berlin for a long time, and wanted to enjoy the prosperity that West Germany had enjoyed for so long. This all culminated in protests across the country, demanding reform, unification, and an end to the communist government. During the protests, the government authorized travel abroad to other countries. According to the BBC, thousands of people swarmed to the Berlin Wall to try and travel to West Berlin. The people, hoping to finally be able to see their friends and family, began to walk towards the border guards, who were given orders not to let anyone try and cross the border. According to Lumen Learnings, the officers of the Guard did not want to be the ones to have to order the use of lethal force on the protesters. Harold Jaeger, commander of the Bornholmer-Strasse border crossing, soon relented, and soon after allowed for people to begin crossing the border, where they were greeted by West Berliners with flowers and alcohol to celebrate, and began to topple the Wall of Shame. This historic event took place on November 9th, 1989, and has shaped modern Germany ever since. The fall of the Berlin Wall would send shockwaves across the world. It was a part of a larger movement in the Warsaw Pact of revolution and change. According to the Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Poland and Hungary had changed governments towards anti-communist and pro-democratic months before. On October 3rd, 1990, East Germany's government was completely dissolved and was soon incorporated into West Germany. In Bulgaria and Czechoslovakia, leadership changed and new, non-communist governments were in charge. In Romania, the president was arrested and executed. 2 years later, the leading nation of the communist world, the USSR, collapsed, seeing the birth of many democratic nations. Though, this didn't last very long. The communist nation of Yugoslavia would break apart about 2 decades later. Many of these new countries would begin to apply for EU and NATO membership, with most of them successfully joining. The rest of the communist world would soon liberalize their economies and open up to privatization. some moving towards open market capitalism, while some became nominally communist, but followed a more capitalist system with heavy government oversight. To end this documentary, I'd like to take a look at this quote. "The wall will be standing in 50 and even in 100 years. The German Democratic Republic, Head of State, Erich Honecker, East Berlin, January 19th, 1989. Despite the clear irony in this statement, it really goes to show how strong a grip the government had even months before the fall. Not even the head of state thought that the wall would fall as it did, but through determination, hardship, and solidarity with each other, the people of East Germany managed to break the shackles of authoritarian communist government." Thank you for listening to my documentary, and I hope you enjoyed.